Hey everybody. What the fuck? What's up?
Film, which is the shot of Kennedy's head getting blown off and going back into the left.
Classic.
And in what looks like a shot from the front. Looks like a frontal shot. It looks like he was actually shot by more than one person. If you look at, there's various interpretations of the Zapruder film, but one interpretation that seems to make a lot of sense is that he was hit from both the front and the back.
Two shots.
There was multiple people shooting at him, and if you talk to anyone who was trying to, if you were looked at that pinch point, like as they make that corner in Dealey Plaza, like they were like, well, you wouldn't just have one guy with a rifle. You would make sure you were shooting at him from a bunch of different locations.
And Geraldo dropped that news?
Geraldo showed the video.
Geraldo's a beast.
But hold on a second. Here's what's important. That video was many years after Kennedy's assassination.
Like 10 years or
Yeah,
something.
like a decade. So for a decade, we had all thought that Lee Harvey Oswald had acted alone, and there was only a few people that didn't think he did, but there was no visual evidence that showed differently.
Hey, Lee, for sure tell us, huh?
The weird thing about that Zapruder film is it always baffled me that when you see him get hit, it looks like for a couple frames, it looks like his head, half his head disappears, and there's just a purple blob. It's a purple blob, but then when you look at the autopsy pictures, it's just the hole in his head, and he's just laying there. But
Yeah.
it looks like the film was tampered with. That's what it looks like.
Well, it doesn't look like the film was tampered with, but the autopsy photographs were most likely tampered with. And this was a big part of the contention that David Lifton had when he wrote the book Best Evidence. Because there's two different...
Let's watch it. You'll see that it's a
Okay,
purple
sure.
blob for 2 frames. And
Yeah, well,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's spray.
But you
when
also
the bullet's
don't want
hitting
that.
his head's when you hit something with a bullet, there's a spray.
Yeah.
It looks like his whole face just flies off, and there's just.
Well, they say that his
Watch
head,
it.
piece
Put it
of his
up.
head flew off, and she crawled
Yeah.
on the back to try to put his head back
No,
together,
she
which
didn't.
is a human being.
No,
which
she
is-
didn't. No, she didn't.
Well, that's
She
what they-
definitely, No, they did not say that. That's not what happened. She was trying to get the fuck out of that limousine because people were shooting, and they blew her husband's head off. She wasn't going for any piece of meat.
I heard that
no,
she
no.
was reaching to
That's
put
what
his
people
head
say.
like
People
that,
do
that
say that.
instinct,
People
you
say
know?
crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Does not. She was getting the fuck
Probably
off
getting
that
down.
limo.
Did she ever talk about it? She never talked about it, I guess.
No, she never talked
Yeah,
about
so
it.
no
She
one really
married-
knows for the
She married
certain.
Jackie Onassis right afterwards. She married like
Yeah.
one of the richest people she could find.
But don't you think with that autopsy, it's your president that just got assassinated, so you're going to want to make him look the best possible.
Well, let me explain.
Well, look at the video, the Zapruder film.
But
It's
let
on
me
YouTube.
explain, because this is something
I'd like to see it.
I've read
His head
15
being
different
blown
books
off.
on this shit, and I've watched 10 or 15
you're balls deep in
documentaries.
this.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
one of the
drop
big
it,
things is
son.
there's a giant difference between the account of the autopsy, what they said, their description of the body and the wounds in Dallas versus their description in the wounds in Bethesda, Maryland. Two very different autopsies. One of them that shows an entrance wound on the neck shows he got shot from the front, and an exit wound or an entrance wound on his neck. On another one, that was changed to a tracheotomy scar. So there's a discrepancy. He grabs his neck like he got hit. He holds his neck maybe a second or two before his brains blow out, right? And when he's holding his neck like this, on one autopsy, on one account of the body, that's an entrance wound from a bullet. That's the Dallas one. But on another one, see, if you see him when he's going around the corner,
Look at this.
he's already holding his neck.
Yeah.
See how he's holding his neck? Like, he reached up and grabbed himself, and he's looking down, and right around, he passes the pole, and his head blows off. Watch this. Right here. Boom.
I don't see anything.
Hang on a second.
Boom.
No.
Damn, bitch, get out the way.
This is in super slow.
So he got shot in the neck.
There it is.
Oh!
See-
See how his head disappears right there? Like, what is that? It's like a
No,
flap of...
it's just a flap of bone and meat. It
Oh,
opened his
is
head
the
wide
fl-
up. So
Christ.
watch. Look, she ain't going searching for a piece of head.
Hell
She's trying to
no.
get the fuck off of that
Well, we don't know what she's
limousine.
doing, right?
You
She's-
do.
No,
There's a
his
Secret
head's not
Service
even
guy
there.
right behind
Hey,
her.
bro.
That's the Secret Service guy who's climbed up at the back of the car and he's reaching for her to help her.
You think
Yeah.
she... Oh, my God.
What a horrible
So
thing to
scary.
live through.
So, but the problem was nobody had seen that until 10 years after the assassination. So when they watch it, they go, "Oh my God, head goes back into the left." That was like that Hicks joke that he kept talking about, back into the left, back into the left. I mean, he got shot. It looked like he was getting shot from the front, and it hit the right side of his head, and his head goes back into the left. But there's also some spray that appears to be either going forward. It could be an impact spray of the bullet from the front, or it could be that he got shot with 2 different bullets at the same time. It's very possible that he got hit from the front and the back.
It's basically very hard to tell what happened with one angle, right?
Well, you know for sure he got shot in the head.
Yeah,
and
you know
for
that.
sure his head blew apart.
God damn.
What's crazy to me is,
Horrible.
after all these years, we don't know for a fact.
No, they can't. There's no way
So
they can.
it's weird to me that no one came out and talked
Watch
about
it again.
it.
Watch this again. Now
People
watch. It's hard to tell if this is an impact spray or if it's an exit spray.
Where's his head at?
His head is right there.
Looks like an impact
right
spray
there.
to me, man.
But
I
it
don't
could
know.
be.
What do I know?
It could be an impact spray from the front. Meanwhile, it very well could be that it's an exit spray too. But the thing is, his head goes back and to the left. But here's the question: does it go back to the left from the momentum of getting hit in the head with a bullet, or is it a spasm from a dying body, like your body locks up and it just throws itself into a convulsion? That's possible too. I mean, a lot of crazy shit happens when you get shot in the fucking head.
I heard he was a real cocksman too.
I bet he was, but I don't think that had anything to do
So
with
you
this.
don't think
I'm just saying it's a
Lee
bummer,
Harvey
man.
Oswald acted alone?
I do not think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I do not. I do not think that it's even reasonable to assume that he acted alone. There's way too many people that had vested interest in killing him.
Like the Cubans.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people that wanted him dead. And it depends on what varying version of the story you're willing to buy into. But what is possible, and this is one thing that people don't want to consider, they think either Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone or it's some wacky tinfoil hat conspiracy. I say neither. I say it might be both. I say Lee Harvey Oswald could have been in on it. He seemed like a gullible guy in a lot of ways.
He'd been to Cuba, right?
He'd been to Russia. He'd been to Cuba. He lived in Russia. He was married to a Russian woman.
Right.
Lee Harvey Oswald was most certainly at least in cahoots with the FBI. He definitely.
He was in the CIA.
Yes. He definitely
Really?
did some things for other organizations and brought over during the Cold War a Russian wife. Lived over in Russia and then got back in the United States and brought over his Russian
But he
wife.
did also go to Cuba, right? Didn't he spend time in Cuba? I believe he did.
I believe he did.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I know for a fact he lived in Russia
No,
for
he
a
didn't
while.
go to
Was he a
Cuba.
communist?
He didn't go
Russian.
to Cuba. He was part of a Cuban movement, like a
Right.
Liberty for Cuba.
I think he
He
went to
didn't-
Cuba.
he
I
might
think he
have.
spent time in Cuba.
He might have.
Yeah.
I
Check
don't
that
know.
out.
No, he
Jamie.
didn't go to Cuba.
Okay, well, Jamie will find it. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is, he easily could have been working for the government, and he easily could have been a part of the plan, and he easily could have been a guy that they felt
A
maybe
stooge?
was
Yeah.
They set him up.
Is he still alive?
No, he got shot by Jack Ruby like a couple days after he shot Kennedy, or allegedly
Yeah,
shot
Jack
Kennedy.
Ruby shot him.
Shot
And
him
Jack
at the
Ruby
police station.
died of cancer in
Well,
jail.
not only that, Jack Ruby was a mob guy that was deeply beholden to all these different groups, and
Which is very weird, right? Why would Jack Ruby, a mob guy, kill Lee Harvey Oswald in broad daylight while he's being escorted? Like, what would they were like? Well, he felt so bad for Jackie. That doesn't make any sense.
Bullshit.
From a